After the Joe Rogan controversy, which was all over the news, obviously, it's obvious that the left is obsessed with censorship. Well, like I said, that's the obvious part. But we want to get to the behind-the-scenes controversy here about how this censorship actually happens. No more talk. Let's tell you how it works. You ever notice how the liberal attack mob, they always seem coordinated and in sync with their messaging there? They always seem to march to the same drumbeat at the exact time they need to. Strange, right? You need to push a narrative, done. Need to suppress a narrative, done too. They all fall right in line. The reason they always appear coordinated is because they are. It's what one columnist in Tablet magazine called the Blue Stack. The Blue Stack, what is it? It's this alliance of activists across all major institutions. Big banks, big tech, Hollywood, academia, government, you've seen it, liberal activists. They're power players here. And they hold key positions of influence with the goal of pushing ideological conformity on you and crushing your dissent. So how do they work? You know, for example, the government can't, well, at least yet, can't outright force people they don't like off the internet. Believe me, but they're working on it. So instead, they dispatch their activist army to pressure major companies to censor.
Facebook has demonstrated they cannot act independently. I'm hoping that this will have had a big enough impact on the world that they get the fortitude and the motivation to actually go put those regulations into place.
You shouldn't be banned from one platform and not others for providing misinformation out there.
But you see here, folks, listen, that's just what they're doing in the open. The really frightening part here is what else they're doing that they hope you don't notice. In order to really silence dissenting voices, this activist army, they have to first find out what everybody's saying and doing at all times. They must get rid of your privacy forever.
While Facebook has a lot of access to information about you, consider how much Google could know about you.
Tim Cook recently said privacy in itself has become a crisis. Do you agree?
I think it's very, very, given the scale at which information is flowing, I don't think users have a good sense for how their data is being used.
Hard to censor what you can't see, right? In December, Google updated its workspace policy, giving themselves permission to keep you from sharing your personal documents through Google Drive if Google considers it a violation of their policy. So let me get this one straight here. In order to know what's in your photos and your personal documents, Google has to look at them first? Right. Still think your privacy matters? What about where and how you spend your money? As part of the Democrats' rescue plan, the IRS is forcing third-party payment companies like PayPal and Venmo to hand over details of anyone getting more than $600 a year in business payments. Weird, right? Why do they care about that? What about your kids? They're safe from all this, right? Nope, they're not. Check out this article from Wired. The unnerving rise of video games that spy on you. Turns out major game companies, some of which are based in China, are known to use data analytics and even facial ID tools to essentially track every decision your kids make while playing. In other words, Johnny's parents there might not be monitoring his gaming habits very closely, but big tech absolutely is. But that's not all. Check out this headline from CNBC. TikTok shares your data more than any other social media app. And it's unclear where it goes, study says. Well, maybe they should clear that up. Sounds kind of important to me. So not only is big tech watching Johnny play games there, they're also watching Susie on TikTok there as well. Meanwhile, the FBI was looking into new and improved ways to spy. Here's a quote here from The Guardian. FBI confirms it obtained NSO's Pegasus spyware. You know what Pegasus is? Yeah, Pegasus basically hijacks your phone, microphone, camera, everything. You want that in your room? You want a beacon, microphone, camera sitting in your room every day someone else can get a hold of? Yeah, give a look about Pegasus. Scare the hell out of you. Folks, the truth is, the American people have been surveilled for a long time. But now it's happening increasingly for political reasons, not for safety. Listen, man, we've seen this movie before. Governments using surveillance to target political opponents instead of actual criminals. We've seen this over and over. Is that what's happening here? Where did this surveillance obsession come from? Just yesterday, we learned 2 U.S. senators are asking the CIA to declassify details of a secret data program that stores information collected on Americans. Yeah, that's us. What could they possibly need that for? Even worse, here's a bulletin from the Department of Homeland Security released this week that should really frighten everyone. The United States remains in a heightened threat environment fueled by several factors, including an online environment filled with false or misleading narratives and conspiracy theories and other forms of mis, dis, and malinformation introduced and or amplified by foreign and domestic threat actors. These threat actors seek to exacerbate societal friction to sow discord and undermine public trust in government institutions to encourage unrest, which could potentially inspire acts of violence. What the hell did I just read? Remember what I've told you. The left weaponized the phrase conspiracy theorist a long time ago to label your views as a threat. Would fit right into that DH model, no? And now they can mark anyone who disagrees as a possible domestic terrorist? You don't believe me? Well, here's what officials are saying about the protests in Canada.
It's really an insurrection. It's an attack on our democracy. It's an attack on our federal government. This is right out of the Trump playbook. This is treason. This is way bigger. This is a group of well-polished professional people that are trying to overthrow the government of democratically elected government of this country.
You still think you won't wind up in their surveillance crosshairs? Well, the leftist media is already pushing a narrative about the planned trucker convoy here in the United States. More on that coming up. This is from CNN. A DHS bulletin issued on Tuesday, the state and local officials obtained by CNN, said the agency has received reports of truck drivers planning to potentially block roads in major metropolitan cities in the U.S. in protest of, among other things, vaccine mandates for truck drivers. Received reports. They're getting reports now? How'd they receive those reports? Why? Someone breaks some rule? So what does that mean for you? What if you support the truckers? What if you post online about it? Will the DHS consider you a terrorist?